Hello and welcome to S24 News Rundown. I am Gloria Atta. To start with, President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to defeating insecurity and securing the release of all persons held captive across the country, vowing that the government of Nigeria will never succumb to terror, banditry, or any form of criminal intimidation. Speaking through the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, during the National Interdenominational Church service marking the 26th Democracy Day celebration in Abuja, the president assured Nigerians that efforts are being intensified to address both security and challenges. President Tinubu noted that the government is aware of the hardship, kidnappings, and displacement affecting many communities and remains easing citizens' burdens through sustainable democratic dividends. On security, he stressed that the safety of Nigerians remains a top priority, assuring that security agencies are receiving the support needed to protect lives and secure communities. The president also urged Nigerians, particularly youths, to reject violence, hate campaigns, and divisive rhetoric as political activities ahead of the 2027 general elections begin to gather momentum. Meanwhile, states across the Federation are intensifying the deployment of forest guards under a federal government-backed initiative aimed at combating banditry, kidnapping, and other crimes in forested areas. The approval of the recruitment of 1,000 forest guards after recent attacks and abductions linked to suspected bandits. Kebbi State has deployed 819 newly trained operatives, while Gombe says about 700 recruits are undergoing specialized training. Kwara has recruited and deployed over 3,000 forest guards to strengthen security in rural communities. Kaduna has also commenced training for 1,000 recruits, drawn largely from security-challenged areas, while Edo is preparing to begin training newly recruited personnel. States including Imo, Bayelsa, Anambra, and Kano have integrated forest guards into their security structures, while others, such as Zamfara, Rivers, and Abia, are awaiting federal directives before commencing recruitment. In another development, the federal government is seeking to leverage the European Union-funded West Africa Sustainable Ocean Programme, valued at £59 million, or about 93.5 billion naira, to strengthen efforts against illegal fishing and improve management of Nigeria's maritime resources. Speaking during a meeting with EU Ambassador to Nigeria, Gautier Mignot, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, said the program offers an opportunity to boost ocean governance, improve enforcement capacity, and support Nigeria's blue economy goals. Oyetola described illegal, unreported, and national security, calling for stronger international collaboration, surveillance, and stricter enforcement. The minister also highlighted ongoing reforms in the maritime sector and appealed for greater EU support in fisheries monitoring and maritime enforcement across the Gulf of Guinea. In response, Ambassador Mignot reaffirmed the EU's commitment to maritime cooperation with Nigeria, noting that the program will promote sustainable fisheries, strengthen enforcement mechanisms, and support safer, more sustainable oceans across West Africa. And in environment, the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, has warned that rapid urbanization is increasing environmental pressures across the country. In a statement marking the 2026 World Environment Day, Acting Managing Director Umar Gire said growing urban centers are facing challenges, including rising temperatures, flooding and erosion, which require urgent action. He noted that inland waterways play a vital role in building climate resilience by reducing food risks and providing a cleaner, low-carbon transport alternative. Girel reaffirmed NIWA's commitment to responsible dredging, riverbank protection, and pollution control, while urging Nigerians to dispose of waste properly, support environmental conservation efforts, and embrace water transportation as a sustainable alternative to road travel. And now on the foreign scene, at least 15 people have been killed after a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the southern Philippines on Monday, causing widespread damage and triggering tsunami warnings across part of Asia. The quake hit near Mindanao Island and was followed by multiple aftershocks, according to Philippine authorities. General Santos City was among the hardest hit areas, with several buildings damaged or destroyed, including a 3-story commercial building. Parts of a major hospital were also severely damaged, forcing the evacuation of patients and medical staff. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. activated emergency response agencies and ordered the closure of schools in affected areas, disrupting the first day of classes for more than 3 million students. Tsunami warnings were issued in the Philippines, Indonesia, and Japan, prompting evacuations in several coastal communities. Authorities later issued some alerts after the immediate threat passed. Emergency officials continue to assess the extent of the damage as rescue and relief operations remain underway. And in the Middle East, fears of renewed conflict are growing after Israel and Iran exchanged fresh attacks despite an existing ceasefire. Iran says it launched missiles in Israeli air bases in response to Israeli strikes on military targets inside its territory, while Israel carried out retaliatory attacks. Yemen's Houthi rebels also claimed responsibility for a missile attack on Israel, adding to regional tensions. Reports indicate that U.S. President Donald Trump has urged restraint as Washington continues diplomatic efforts to preserve the ceasefire and prevent a wider conflict. Moving on to business news with Oniye Shukra. Hello, Shukra.
Thank you, Gloria. Welcome to S24 Business Update. I am Uniye Shukra. Today, the Nigerian stock market suffers a massive 4.91 trillion loss. MTN unveils a 1 trillion expansion plan. Foreign investment into Nigeria's trade sector rises sharply, and soaring oil prices raises both opportunities and risks for the economy. First up, a bruising week on the trading floor. The Nigerian exchange, or the NGX, has recorded one of its deepest weekly declines of the year. In just first trading week of June, investors watched approximately 4.91 trillion naira in the market capitalization vanish into thin air. This aggressive downturn was triggered by widespread profit taking as institutional and retail investors scrambled to lock in gains after months of blistering performance. Banking, industrial, and consumer goods took the heaviest hit. While the sudden drop has raised red flags regarding short-term volatility, market analysts remain surprisingly calm. They maintain that this is a healthy correction, insisting that broader long-term outlook for the Nigerian market remains firmly positive. But while investors are pulling cash out of equities, one corporate giant is doubling down on nation's digital future. Telecommunication heavyweights MTN Nigeria has unveiled a massive 1 trillion naira investment plan slated for the remainder of this year. According to the company's executive, the massive capital injection will fund aggressive network expansion and critical infrastructure upgrades across the federation. The goal? To drastically improve service quality, eliminate drop zones, and keep pace with an insatiable domestic demand for high-speed data. As Nigeria's digital economy rapidly matures, millions of citizens are migrating online for daily commerce, education, and banking. Industry observers note that this 1 trillion naira bet could serve as a vital backbone for the wider economy, potential offsetting some of the macroeconomic headwinds currently facing the country. And that telecom bet aligns perfectly with a broader trend we are tracking today. International capital is officially knocking on Nigerians' door once again. New data reveals that Nigeria's trade sector successfully attracted $5.79 million in foreign direct investment during the first quarter of 2026. This represents a sharp, significant spike compared to previous quarters. Top economists note that this influx reflects a resilient wave of investor confidence, particularly in targeted sectors of the economy. What makes this impressive is the backdrop. This capital is inflowing despite persistent, well-documented anxieties over inflation, foreign exchange pressures, and ongoing infrastructural deficits. The injection is expected to provide much-needed liquidity, support commercial activity, and could pave the way for even greater foreign participation later this year. Global energy markets are on high alert today as oil prices climb sharply following a dangerous escalation tension in the Middle East. Brent crude has surged to nearly $98 per barrel on the heels of fresh military exchange between Iran and Israel. The escalation has ignited severe fears of prolonged disruptions to critical global supply lines. And for Nigeria as Africa's prominent oil producer, this price spike is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it promises a substantial boost to exports and much-needed government revenue. And on the other hand, analysts warn that sustained high crude prices will inevitably drive global energy costs, threatening to import a fresh wave of inflationary pressure direct back into the domestic economy. And that is your business news update for now. We'll be joining Gloria Atta and Abubakar Tureki on Newspaper Review as they dissect the daily headlines.
Thank you, Shukra, and welcome back from that break. Now on Newspaper Review with Abubakar Turaki. Hello, Abubakar. How are you?
Happy New Week.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, it was really nice, especially with what happened, what we saw yesterday or day before yesterday.
Okay.
Some of the captives were actually free. I think this is a good news to cherish and even appreciate God Almighty for that.
Indeed. So let's just quickly rush to the business of today. We are going to be starting from the Punch newspaper, and on the front page, it says, states rush to deploy forest guards as insecurity deepens. Now, why do you think this is coming at this time?
Yeah, the reason why most of this, you may likely see all this kind of competitive implementation of this state guard. You know, as I told one of my friends that some policies in this country is like a wild bushfire. What I mean by wild bushfire is whenever this thing happen here, you will see them, the state governor will start rushing to do this thing. I remember what happened during when the Niger Delta Development Commission was established. Subsequently, Northeast Development Commission came about. Northwest Development Commission is now on board, and now before you know, you may likely see Southwest Development Commission. One example, when Konkoso was the governor of Kano State, when he started the construction of flyover, virtually most of the northern states started to do that. And now, you know, during the time of Muhammadu Buhari, when he wanted to establish the ranch where they can at least keep cows so that they can be able to have their own livestock and everything in one thing, they also went like wild bushfire. And recently we saw the forest guard, which was implemented in Oyo. Before you know, even though it's a national policy that they wanted to at least curtail the issue of insecurity, Gombe came up with it, Kaduna, Kwara, Bauchi, beyond, and many states. These are all political calculation. But one thing I want to ask them, last week you agitated for state police. We have federal police. There is now agitation for state police, and now forest guards.
Yes, and that was even what was leading to my question, that do you think this is a step in the right direction, which is one, and then secondly, do you think these forest guards actually have the capacity to handle the insecurity which is currently on the ground?
Well, may likely not have everything. What they are going to do is maybe they are just going to be providing with the logistics, the technicality, because we have untapped favorable land in this country, in the sense that you can almost 100 kilometers without seeing any infrastructure within the northern part of the country and even the southern part of the country. Well, this is a good one, but I believe maybe if those that are saddled with responsibility can look beyond forest guard, I think is a good one, and I believe the issue of insecurity will come to an end. But the truth of the matter is, why is it now? Is it just because some of them are being affected? That is the reason why they are coming with these beautiful policies. And mind you, Nigerian politicians are dubious in nature. Maybe they are trying to this to please people ahead of 2027 so that they can come with promises. We have actually came up with state police they can use as a political campaign gimmick so that they can at least have votes from people. I want Nigerians to be mindful in whatsoever they are going to welcome from these politicians.
You know, the thing is that these forest guards are actually, deep. They are expected to go deep into the forests and, help gather intelligence and also get information from these terrains that the much wider security agencies might not be able to do. And another thing about the initiative is that they are also bringing in people who are locals from the area, people who understand this area. But another issue that a lot of analysts have been pondering on is the coordination. Do you think these people would be coordinated enough like the military or, the Nigeria police force?
I don't want to sound pessimistic, but there's going to be a clash and conflict of interest. And by now, I'm actually expecting government to come up with some policies that will bring development to that place. Maybe by providing some infrastructure there, earmarking some project there, putting a lot of things there. But this security guard, are you trying to tell me that after if everything is stable, then you are going to withdraw the security guard? It's like we are coming back to square one. I could remember one of our lecturers was actually narrating to me during their own undergraduate. I think the son of former Sani Abacha, they are in the same class with him. The kind of priority given to public universities then, you will just be wondering what is going on? So we are expecting them, instead for them to deploy this security guard, earmark the location, bring positive development there, maybe a military base there, maybe a university there, factory there. The government should venture into public-private partnerships so that the place will at least look more lucrative so that we can push those bandits away, even if it actually leads to the extent of crushing them, because those people have been creating nuisance, those people have been creating insecurity, attack here, attack there, day in, day out.
Okay. So finally, what lessons do you think that, the federal and even the state governments should actually learn in terms of managing the affairs of this new outfit that's been introduced? That there is better coordination in how they do their work.
They should do the necessary things. They should never monopolize and politicize the process, because if they politicize the process, I don't think if we are going to fight the issue of insecurity, because politics have actually bastardized everything from 1999 to date.
Abubakar with the grammar. Okay, let's just quickly move to our second newspaper, and we're going to be looking at the Daily Trust, and it says Boko Haram holds teenagers as 360 regain freedom. And that brings me back to the earlier celebration we were just, making. After months in captivity, these people have finally gained freedom. So let me hear your thoughts.
The truth of the matter is, as Nigerians are celebrating, don't forget there are people that are mourning too. Because,
very true.
Yeah, because part of the people that regained freedom yesterday, it was those people that are of elderly age, and those that are in their own, that they are young, very young. Yeah. So those people that are in their early, teenage years, from their early 20s, are still in captivity.
Yes.
And even though we need to appreciate our own gallant officers for what they did, and I'm still trying to understand. And after this, I'm still going back to the news and study it rigorously. There's what we call plea bargain in security situation. That okay, you have our own generals that are with you. Okay, release so person to we are going to release so number of people.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that maybe the government did not sought to do that, because the government have not yet said we have followed this process, this, and that and that. All what we saw, it was they gained their own freedom, and the Nigerian army welcomed them, and they are still under they are still under medical process, because those people that have been traumatized for almost 3 months, at least they need to be mentally checked. Because when I saw the video yesterday, I was just imagining what is going to be of your benefit to adopt somebody that is just 6 years old. What do you want from him? Are you trying to exploit them? Are you trying to indoctrinize them? What are you doing?
Okay, so just before we go, I have 2 questions. I'm going to sandwich them into one because of time. First, do you think that our security agencies are doing enough in terms of ensuring that these mass abductions would not be a recurring feature in the nation's security architecture? And then my second question is, what support systems do you think the federal government should be looking at for some of these people? Because we already know that it has a lot of mental and psychological toll on their health when they come back. So just in 1 minute.
The federal government need to double their own welfare from those people that are being adapted, and even from those people that are fighting the problem of insecurity.
Yeah.
And secondly, they need to do everything that will at least alleviate the suffering, because what is all happening in this country is just because of the negligence from certain individuals.
Yes.
This kind of issue of insecurity is not happening in places like America. It's not happening the way it is happening in our country. Do not misquote me.
Yes.
And it all boils down to the level of leadership.
Yes. Leadership,
remorseful
poverty.
leadership that understand the yearning and aspiration of their people. But look at it, before we came in, I spoke to you about how the price of gas, last week it was just 1,800, this week it's almost 2,400 naira in our country that we call our own fatherland.
Yes.
Then secondly, the federal government and the security agencies should double their own effort in the sense that they have to understand that this is our own country, and the stability of this country, if we allow anything that led to the trampling of this country, to cut or to tag Nigeria as a failed state, now then wahala go start.
That just sums it up. This country is all we have, so we all have to just work together to ensure that the sovereignty of the Nigerian state still stands. And that is all we can take on our newspaper review today. Thank you so much, Abubakar, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And up next, after the break.
Bridging the gap between talent and opportunity was the focus of the Nigerian Jubilee Fellowship Program 2.0 Job Fair, a 2-day event supported by the federal government and funded by the European Union and the United Nations Development Program, UNDP. The gathering brought together young professionals, employers, and industry leaders, creating a platform for networking, mentorship, and career advancement. Hundreds of fellows interacted with recruiters and explored opportunities across various sectors as they sought to translate their skills and experience into meaningful careers.
It's wonderful because when I saw it on one of the group I belonged, I was like, would this even be? Well, let me just try it out. And surprisingly, they are well organized. You have opportunity to meet so many recruiters, and I'm really impressed.
Quick one. What are Nigerians?
They should apply, and it's going to take them far because I'm really impressed. I actually applied not really expecting anything, but I was surprised that this is how far I've come, and it's really showing impact in my life.
Participants said the program has continued to shape their professional journey, equipping them with valuable skills and exposing them to the realities of the workplace.
I'm looking to explore more on the ability to research for bigger companies and to explore opportunities that comes my way. I was fortunate to interview with quite a number, which I'm also expecting positive feedbacks from them.
The job fair also provided a chance for fellows to engage directly with employers, build networks, and pursue opportunities that align with their aspiration. For employers, the event served as an avenue to identify and attract young talent with the right blend of competence, innovation, and adaptability.
We are looking to recruit some new talents to our organization to see what value they can add because it's about it. And we'll say someone puts themselves out there.
They say beyond recruitment, the initiative offers organizations an opportunity to contribute to workforce development and connect with emerging professionals.
It seeks to support and also to solve the unemployment challenge in the country, where we place fellows with job opportunities within host organization to gain experience, industrial experience, also to explore different career roles and build their CV to compete with the labor markets. We currently have about 1,500 plus fellows with about 400 plus post organization currently placing um, the fellows onto the job. One key thing that stands out here is we have a real-time placement. Unlike the traditional way which the host organization will have to go onto the portal, interview, schedule an interview with fellows, which takes longer process, longer time. The interviews are ongoing. Fellow just walk onto a host organization, gets interviewed, and gets placed instantly.
Hadiza Galadima for S24 Television.
Good afternoon and welcome to Political Around S24 Television. Today we're joined by my guest, Honorable Shitu Olaiton Abdul Fattah, a young politician, journalist actively participating in the political process. We'll be discussing youth participation in the politics, leadership, accountability, and the future of governance in Nigeria. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So would you mind introducing yourself to viewers?
I don't mind. My name is Shitu Olaiton Abdul Fattah. I'm a journalist. I'm also a politician.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
You're welcome.
What would you say marked your transition or made you transition from reporting from journalism to actively participating in the political process to the extent of being an aspirant for the honorable?
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And that question is a question I give anytime I'm in this kind of seat. People do ask, why do you think why politics? From being a journalist and now
a politician.
Yeah, like I said, in my year, my experience in media and journalism,
Yes.
I've seen a lot of activities going on. I would believe the media is the intermediary between the public or the society and the government. So that simply means that we've seen what is happening from the government perspective and the societal perspective. So with these, you are the intermediary. You see the inside, and you see the outside. So with that, I believe I should bring the wealth of experience I've seen in the last journalism, media, or ramification into politics, which politics is all about development, it's all about building, it's all about reforming.
Accountability and transparency.
And transparency as well.
Okay. So this brings us to our next question. What do you, some people will say Nigerian democracy is gentocratic in nature.
Okay.
So what would you say is honorable, what would you say is stopping Nigerian youth from holding meaningful positions in politics despite them being capable and having the capability and them showing readiness?
Well, let me this be clear to you. Nobody gives power. You have to go for it. Yes, the statistic of Nigerian, the statistic of the majority of the people voting, electorate in Nigeria are youths. So if you're saying that, why are they not being, given an opportunity? There's a platform for everyone. I'm a youth, and like I said, It's not that easy. It's not as if I have a uncle or father. My father was never a politician. I don't have anybody in politics. I think in the history of my family, I should be the first person. And from, what I call it, from a less privileged home. But determination, focus, perseverance, these are the key goals that are, driving me towards that. So you're not going to sit down, you expect someone to bring power to you. You have to go there and get it strategically.
Okay, so I would like to ask you just one question, or would like for you to answer in like a few lines. Are you saying the Nigerian youths are not pushing enough to be in the political space?
No, I would say that. That's not what I'm saying, actually. Yes, we're putting our best, but we should know the right channel. We should know the appropriate platform to get this power. Understand? There are a lot of political parties. Yes, you are saying that APC are for the elite or they are for this and that and that. Like I said, do I have anybody? The only thing that gave me that opportunity where I am today, by the special agreement as a candidate in the 2026 general election, because of I can even say it's because of my antecedent from the media, cycle or field that I'm coming. Yes, because working in a very big platform before I joined politics led me to, because when I was doing that journalism, I was also doing some kind of high catchy, like who is this person, who is that person. Maybe in future I might definitely need this person, and that's what has helped me today. So yes, there are a lot of youth also striving harder than I do. I believe that. Do they have opportunity? Well, not everybody that will do that. And before we had these primaries, we had like 14 numbers, and all of us were youth in my state constituency. What I used to say from the beginning till the day we had our primaries or consensus,
Yes.
I used to say that it's only grace. Till this moment, I'm still saying it, grace, because I wasn't the best, but I know what I'm capable of doing. I wasn't the best. All of us were youths. So, and I used to tell my followers, like, see, there's something Yoruba call Anu, grace. I want that to locate me. It's not as if I'm the richest. I don't even have the money. As a journalist, what do you expect? How much am I going to get? So it's just grace of God Almighty and doing the actual, doing the right process. Because I used to tell some people, you can have millions of naira, but if you're not doing it the way you're supposed to do, you end up not getting what you want.
Okay, so allow me to divert a little. Politics, you say, is about grace.
Yes.
There are other people more capable. But should it be?
Everything, not only politics, everything should be grace. You should seek for grace. Not everything. Not only politics, rather. So whether you're learning something, you're in school, no matter how brilliant you are, we've seen a lot of brilliant students, but do they excel? Do they have their first class? Even though they have the first class, but then they were hunting for a job or whatever they are doing, you see someone that finished with third class.
Okay, sir.
It's grace.
Okay, grace. Let's dive deeper a little bit. There's been a history of politicians being elected and them losing touch with the grassroots. How do you intend on staying connected with your people, the ordinary citizens that put you there? How do you intend to still stay connected to them, know their plights, and help them?
Well, you're on your own as a politician. You're not going back to your grassroots. Do you know why? Because these are, like you said, these are the people that
put you in power.
Want to give you these mandates. So, if you think because it's just 4 years. When did we have the 2023? The president is counting his 4 years now. We just had our third year on 29th of May, isn't it?
Yes.
So before you open your eyes and close now, 4 years don't finish, my sister. Sorry for using that language. So in nutshell, it is very, very important for any politician to go back to grassroots, because you will still come back to them
and do the right thing to them. Honorable Shitu, I would like to ask you one question, and I would like for you to give us a deeper insight into that. Would you say what would you say you've been a journalist?
Of course, I'm a journalist.
So what do you think you'll do different since you've been a journalist? You've seen from the side of people, you've seen from the side of the politicians. What do you think you'll do different to enhance better relationship between the people, between the leadership and the led?
Well, like I said in one of my interviews a few days or thereabout, I'm not the president, I'm not the governor, I'm not vying for this position. I'm a lawmaker. I want to go and make law that is going to benefit my people. And And like I said, there's something I would try to bring on board, but especially after the general election come February 2027, and after I was sworn in by May or June of next year, there is something we call town hall meeting. Because you can't just bring something.
I mean, it's democracy. There should be town hall meeting.
Of course, and I've already have it. The farmers town hall meeting. I need to need their need. Their market women town hall meeting. Yes, the youth town, the students, the traditional rural town hall meetings. These are the things I have to do at least every 4 months in a year.
Okay.
So because I will be able to know the needs of market woman is different from needs of the farmers. So what is that? What are the challenges? That's the only way I'm going to. I'm going to know what to do.
As a young person stepping into the political space, what values do you want people to associate your leadership with? As in, when they hear your name, people are like, oh.
Well, that's a very good question.
And also paving way for.
Like I said, I want to remain in the cover of power, not because I want to be stingy, not because I want to be selfish, because I want to give back to my people, and I can only achieve that by doing the good thing to them. Because I believe you cannot satisfy everyone. But if you have a pass mark of 75 to 80%, what are you looking for again?
What specific values do you want to use to achieve that?
What I just said now encompasses a lot of things. You don't expect me like this and that. I'm going to give them back what they want. And because that's the only thing that can make me relevant in this game. Yes, that's only what, I mean, look at our president today. Has been there since, Nadeco time in the 80s and that's the reason why he's where he is today as a president, has been relevant in the game. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that at least you have 70%. We have a lot of things. But like I said, we're going to come back and.
Honorable Shitu, I do not want to cut you short, but time do not permit, and we would love to have that particular conversation you ended with some other time.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
And that will be all today on our political arena. Stay with us for S24 documentary.
Nigeria's inland waterways are essential to the daily lives of millions. In communities like Unguru in Yobe State, water transport is not a choice, it is a necessity. Yet, these waterways have a long history of deadly accidents. This video tries to examine the recurring risk, the human impact, and what people say must change. On January 3rd, 2026, a boat carrying more than 30 passengers capsized on the Yobe River while crossing from Adiani in Jigawa State to Garbi in Unguru, Yobe State. State emergency officials confirmed that 25 people died, 13 were rescued, and 14 remain missing.
Exactly around 7:48 to 8 o'clock p.m., we received a distress call from our local emergency responders that there was a boat mishap conveying people from Guri local government area in Jigawa State, specifically Ajiani community, to Garbai in Guru local government area in Yobe State. So when we received the news, we learned that already the boat has capsized and there was need for emergency rescue. So of course, security agencies, the local government, the community volunteers, they are the first responders, while we mobilize our team from the neighboring LGA, local emergency management committees from the neighboring LGAs to go and join.
To Allah da ikonsa ba a masu ceto ba, sai da akwai mutum ɗaya da ya je kamun kifi.
They did not receive help early on. Fortunately, a fisherman who had gone out to fish at their screams and raised the alarm.
Allah da ikonsa dai sai wajen misalin karfe
He made several calls. Rescue teams arrived between 1 and 1:30 a.m. We were able to rescue about 13 people, but sadly, we lost the others. We continued waiting and searching and gradually recovered 17 bodies.
These victims were ordinary people, traders, farmers, commuters traveling on a route they use regularly.
Our team moved immediately and through the night up till the morning with the help of the LGA and other community volunteers, Nigerian Red Cross, security agencies, we intensified the search. So in the morning, we realized that the passengers on board are 52 and we started losses as early as 6, 7 a.m.
That same night, this place was filled with people, male and females, family of victims.
So far, we have recorded 29 deaths and 13 people were rescued, reviewed in the hospital and discharged. From the deep dive assessment and reports we have on ground, there are still some missing persons, about 8 to 10.
Few years and have claimed dozens of lives in different regions, often involving overloaded vessels and inadequate safety measures. The repeated nature of this incident
by the canoe operators. It happens around 7:48. That means they have left the neighboring community much late. And by law, anytime it's 6 p.m., no sailing should be on waterways. So by 7 p.m., over one, they left in the night after the close of sailing. 2, there was an overloading in the boat. And 3 there was not a single life jacket.
Realize these boats are often handmade and meant repeated patching. They were not designed for modern demand or heavy loads.
Jirgin mu akwai wanda yake ɗaukar mutum 50 ma a wannan bakin ruwan. Amma a wannan ranar Allah da iko shi gaba ɗaya mutanen da aka ɗauka mutum 30 ne.
Our ships can take up to 50 passengers, but on this day, it was carrying just 38 passengers. It was already destined that the incident will happen, and some people are saying we carried bags of potash. That is not true. They were just bags of chaff, and that is not enough to capsize the boats. Even on small boats, we can take about 5 bags. Talk more of just 2 bags of chaff in a large boat.
Boat operators and passengers frequently admit to overloading, especially during market days, festive seasons, and harvest periods.
The boat is usually overloaded, and the boat is already old.
So when they are coming in the river, the boat initially has been taking maybe 20 to 30 persons for it to be full. But at that time, they do over, where they're supposed to carry 30 or 20 people, they could carry 39 to 40.
Muna tunanin da wanda ya zamto cewa suna da rai da wanda suka rasu a cikin wannan jirgi dai mutum.
We are assuming that the total number of people inside that boat were about 40. People are saying they are up to 50 and all sorts. Truly, that's not. What we witnessed was that amount, 40. Also, we lack working equipment. Even when such incident happens, we wouldn't be able to control it.
Regulation and safety oversight for inland waterways are the responsibility of the National Inland Waterways Authority. At state level, the Ministry of Transport is expected to enforce standards and ensure compliance. In Nguru, however, those agencies are largely absent.
As government, we can't continue blaming the victims. We live and wake up and do the right thing and improve on where we think we can improve. And one of the measures His Excellency Governor Laboni has taken is to ensure that the rescue has been intensified to recover bodies whether dead or alive and ensure that burial has been given to the families. And that has been done for the bodies that have so far been rescued.
What we need from the leaders is, at least when passengers come, supposed to be there is an authority that will say, at least if the boat at least will take 10 to 20 people, supposed to be the number of the people that anybody will take is limited, is specified. And there is at least anyone must wear their life jacket.
If you teach the community, if you tell them to own their safety, own their security, they will take it seriously. So ours is to sensitize them, let them own it. Plan. Our other departments are deploying that, discussing with our partners from the United Nations organizations to come in and keen and support and make sure that we didn't create a gap in ensuring that the community have owned the process. Next week will be a market day. They will still go to market in Jigawa State. And God forbid, if we didn't act fast, there will be risks of putting our people on a boat without life jacket, and this is avoidable, and we'll inshallah avoid it.
For communities along the river, water transport supports livelihoods. Fish and agriculture depend on river access. Traders use boats to reach markets. Students cross rivers to attend school. When water transport stops, the economy stops. The river is a major crossing point because there's no bridge, and people rely on boats every day to travel, trade, and access basic services.
I have an intimate friend that also became late during this accident. Also with someone I attended same primary school with. He also died. We are seeking for help from the government, governor of the state and chairman to bring us ease regarding this water transportation, even if it is a life jacket, that when you fall inside the water, you can help yourself out.
They should provide us better modernized boats. The ones that are faulty are wooden, so we can continue our business with other towns.
The question asked, those and the government, whether they capture such places and the budget for bridges since the inception of democratic rule. Are these people not part of the electorate in Yobe and Jigawa state? Over the last 25 years, is there no resources on the coffers of the government? Why has nothing been built for this community?
The government have almost everything. If you see people going into the water, it with the intention to catch fishes. The origin of this place, it's for fishermen or hunters and farmers. We never witnessed this much interest.
As a result of the accident that happened in Adiani to Garibi. May God forgive the life lost.
Residents say risk is not all real, it is repeated. What they want is not just reassurance, but real changes that make daily travel safer. The river remains a lifeline for communities like Unguru, but the recurrent pattern of waterway accidents shows that the current system is not sustainable. The question is not whether people will continue using the river, but whether they will be able to travel safely.
Welcome to Security Update on S24 Television. I am Zainab Ibrahim. Good news, Nigeria's security forces record significant gains in the fight against terrorism, banditry and kidnapping, with successful rescue operations carried out across Borno and Sokoto State, as well as the safe recovery of abducted victims in a police-led operation. Now, here are the details of our top security stories. Nigerian troops have rescued 360 people who had been held captive by Boko Haram insurgents during a military operation in the Mandara Mountains of Borno State. The rescued victims, many of whom were women and children, were freed after soldiers carried out a series of clearance operations targeting terrorist hideouts in the region. Military authorities say the operation is part of ongoing efforts to dismantle insurgent camps and restore security in North-East. Army's 8th Division have successfully thwarted separate attacks by suspected terrorists and bandits in Sokoto State. According to security sources, soldiers responded swiftly to an attempted attack on Goho community in Tangaza local government area, forcing the attackers to flee before they could inflict major damage. Although one resident sustained injuries during the exchange, securing officials said the prompt intervention helped protect lives and property. In a separate operation in Tindabali village, Isa local government area, troops repelled an attack on a military forward operating base and rescued 2 farmers who had been abducted by bandits. The victims were safely evacuated for medical assessment while the attackers retreated after a gun battle with security forces. Finally, the Nigerian police force has successfully rescued Mrs. Olaide Busayo Adegoke, John Paul, and her 12-year-old twin sons after they were abducted by kidnappers. According to police authorities, the rescue followed an intelligence-led operation that tracked the suspects to their hideout. During the operation, security personnel engaged the kidnappers, leading to the safe recovery of the victims and the neutralization of some members.
Hello and welcome to Tech Updates, where innovation stage. In the world of technology and innovation today.